Start off whenever, man.
All right. Welcome to the Whiskey Weigh-In Podcast. This is Brenton Arrington.
And I'm Shay Huffman.
You can hear my voice crackling a little bit because we just got back from Buffalo Wild Wings. It's 1:06 a.m. here on Saturday night. We just finished watching one of the best cards this year, in my opinion, UFC 239.
Yep.
Many knockouts, many great fights, with the exception of the last one. I did not like the end of that fight. I didn't like the call.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's start off with the first fight.
You know what? Hold on. Timeout. Timeout. Folks, we had the best waiter at B-Dubs. Let me just go into detail real quick. Shout out to my boy Robin Lancaster. Follow him on Instagram. Robin spelled with a Y_Lancaster, just how it is. We haven't opened these yet. Let me open it right now for y'all. He might have hooked us up, man.
Let me give you the backstory real quick.
Wow.
So, Modelo, the beer company, is in the building tonight, and they had a bunch of beer, and they were giving away T-shirts and bottle openers. And Shay and I saw one of the UFC posters on the wall, and as a joke said, I wonder if they could give that to us because we know that after tonight, they're not going to be using it anymore. Well, they had some more, and they brought it to our table, and our boy Robin hooked us up. Robin from Western PA, one of the funniest, best servers we've had at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Kudos to the manager. He brought Shay a poster and then asked me if I wanted one as well, and then brought one to me. So that's pretty cool. We both got one. You guys are going to see that hanging right here. And
yep. And like Brenton said, the only reason it's not up is we literally just got home, and me and him were like, we have to do the podcast right now because that card was phenomenal.
Yes, that card was amazing. The first fight, Diego Sanchez versus Michael Chiesa. I've heard it pronounced Chiesa. Anyways, this is my fault for not really knowing a whole lot about Michael Chiesa. I knew a lot about Diego Sanchez. Both of them have been around for a while, but let's face it, Diego's been around for the longest, it seems.
Yeah, for sure. Diego's been around for a long time.
Man, Chiesa just dominated that whole fight.
I mean,
Diego
it was bad.
did not look like the Jedi he said he was.
He didn't look like he belonged in the ring with him, right? In the octagon, I should say. At all.
Yeah, Chiesa spent a lot of time on the ground, just a lot of time controlling the fight, even up against the fence. Diego was doing whatever he could, but I think just physically and even from a fighting standpoint, he was outmatched all around. It was really hard to watch, actually.
Yeah, it was bad. At no point there was like one or two like sprawls that Diego. I was like, oh, this might be Diego's chance. Nope.
No. Yeah, I know. And he fought hard. He tried to come back, like you said. He tried to come back a few times, and Michael Chiesa just kind of knew everything that was coming at him.
Beast.
What a beast.
And listen, don't think we forgot. It's my fault. I didn't think we were doing the podcast.
Yeah.
We will be doing the shots of whiskey.
Yeah, we will.
Later this week when we do the predictions for this upcoming Saturday. So don't worry.
Yeah, because some of us were wrong on some of these fights. And, actually, we both were wrong on some of them.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, next week we'll have the whiskey. We'll do our shots. And, excuse me, I'm over here burping with this beer. We got, what are you drinking?
I did the Blue Moon. I went with the Blue Moon.
And I've got a Sam Adams Bavarian Lager. So thanks to Shay for bringing those in. All right, so Michael Chiesa, very strong fight. I think it was a lightweight division, right?
Light heavyweight, yeah. Oh, no. Chiesa, yeah. Sorry, lightweight, yeah.
Lightweight, yeah.
Sorry, I was moving on to the next one. I was thinking.
Right.
I was thinking about the next one here.
Yeah, well, we're excited to see who Chiesa's next fight will be. He looks so strong out there. And, good job on him. The next fight, though, wow. Jan Blachowicz, however you want to say it.
Wow.
Or Blachowicz, whatever. And I forgot the dude's name already. He's some kind of legend, right?
Wow.
The male model, the big
Luke.
beast, Luke Rockhold.
Wow.
Man, you were right whenever you said that guy was an arrogant prick.
Well, I didn't say that. I said he was cocky. Come on now. I said he was cocky.
Hey, again, my fault. Michael Chiesa, didn't know a whole lot about him. Luke Rockhold, I should know a lot about him. I've heard his name on the Rogan podcast millions of times.
Right.
He was the favorite coming into this fight.
Yep.
And didn't come away with a win. What happened, Shay? Did he get knocked out by Jan?
Bad. It was bad, wasn't
knocked
it?
the out, right?
Yeah, and
wow.
It was funny, during the fight, I looked at you and I said, I told you he was cocky. My man Luke had both hands down, like at his knees, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't know if he was taunting him there or if he what it was. Was he taunting him?
I don't want to say he was taunting him. I don't want to say that because
maybe he just underestimated him.
Right, like he did with Bisping. Yeah. Exactly what he did with Bisping. Luke, he's a great fighter, especially if he can stay healthy. Man, he didn't look good out there. I mean, at first he was throwing some good shots. No, I don't know. I don't know if 205 is the right weight for him. We'll see what he does. I think that they have to go back to the drawing board. Does he stay at 205? Does he go back down to 185? I don't know. What do you think? What do you think he should do after that fight?
I'm not really sure. I think maybe he should just retire and just be a model.
Be a model? I mean, listen.
Let me turn this fan off.
Turn the fan up. He's a good looking male model, but he's a great fighter, a former champion. I mean, you're not a champ for nothing. You know what I mean? Luke, I think if he's going to come in the 205, he has to calculate things a little bit better. People are going to have more power. Obviously, you're going to have a little more power, but don't expect your strikes to knock people out like that. You know what I mean? So just don't underestimate people. Expect a full fight to go, like all 3 rounds or 5 rounds if you're a main at the, a fight night type deal. I don't know. I don't know if he stays at 205 or 185. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, I think that it's not a matter of weight class. I do want to give Luke a little bit of credit. I think he just got caught. He was controlling the fight up until that knockout. He was controlling it. He was doing well with stand up. Yeah.
Solid.
So I think that he should stay at 205. I mean, he looks incredible at 205. He looks like he could be a heavyweight. That guy just has a body on him.
Just to say, I looked at Brenton during the fight and I was like, this guy's arms are like tree trunks.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
His biceps, if y'all didn't see it, please go back and look. I mean, his arms, they are humongous.
Yeah, I mean, with me being unfamiliar with Luke a little bit anyways, I saw him tonight and I was surprised that he was ever a 185er. I mean, he looks like a real solid 205.
Yeah. So yeah, he did.
Some guys are just gifted with those kind of bodies, but
right.
Yeah, really great fight. Everybody was screaming in Buffalo Wild Wings, or maybe it was just me.
It might have just been you. I don't know.
We do have a short clip that we can roll to real quick of Shay's reaction.
What do you do?
All right, and we're back. Really fun time. Really great crowd there at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, it was.
And,
it was.
You'll see another one of those videos here after the next fight.
Mm-mm.
So, Shay, why don't you just give us a quick rundown of this next fight?
All right, the rundown. Jorge
who
standing against. We have Jorge Masvidal against Ben Askren. Jorge is just leaning up against the fence, all cool, calm, and collected. Comes out sprinting like Usain Bolt, and I was like, "What is he doing? Flying knee, Ben? What does he do?" Well, I'm a wrestler. Someone tried to take him down. So what's he do? Dips his head in. So what's that mean? That flying knee, boom, right to the chin. And I've never, man, I don't say I've never seen.
It was actually right here.
Disgusting.
If you replay it, yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
How about that?
God, I'm drawing a blank and I feel terrible. That knockout, it was literally just a week or two ago. I said that was the most with Valentina. When Valentina had that knockout, I said that was the nastiest knockout I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think I'm still going to go with that was the nastiest, and then this was probably number 2.
This one cut you deep. This one hurt you.
This one hurt me though because as y'all know, I'm a big Askren fan. Man, that hurt. Masvidal, to point out, he's with Poirier, and Poirier tweeted out this was the plan all along, that he was going to come across running, flying knee, and
I will give myself a little bit of credit here because on the last podcast I talked about Jorge's experience as a fighter, and if there's any surprise, it's going to be him to bring him to the table. And
100%,
that's what he did. But this was planned. This was a part of his game plan.
Yeah, it wasn't even a surprise.
You can see all the tweets. They've even tweeted out text messages that he was going to do this.
Right.
And then,
right.
Excuse me again. It makes perfect sense though, because Ben is a wrestler, and the first thing he did, so predictable, is come out and shoot.
Right.
And Jorge it was set up perfectly for him.
So the thing with that though is, I don't think that's Ben's plan. I think that's just instinct. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think his plan was to, if you see Masvidal running, takedown. No, that's just instinct. You know what I mean? And
that's a good point. Maybe all he saw was him just charging towards him.
And he's just like, let's wrap him up.
Let's shoot.
Let's wrap him up. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Very good plan, though, on Jorge's part.
I mean, yeah. But here's the thing, though. If that doesn't play out and Ben does catch him and goes to the ground, that whole first round is done. Ben's on top of him.
If Ben catches him, yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I was also imagining him missing. I was also imagining him missing and Jorge jumping over him and then having to turn around and strike. So I don't know. What would have happened either way. But
high risk, high reward. I mean, it was amazing. I will say, like, I'm a person that loves trash talking, cockiness. I love it. But, to kind of quote Conor McGregor, probably not word for word, y'all can help me out. But, he said, humble in defeat, humble in winning. I did not like Masvidal, like, afterwards. I mean, Ben is just completely asleep, like laying there beside him, like yelling at him. And then afterwards, like, does the exact fall. I wasn't a big fan of that. I mean, like, I love the trash talking. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm the biggest fan of trash talking before the fight, during the fight, after the fight. If the opponent doesn't show you respect, go for it. But my man's asleep.
I get your case there. We also don't know how hurt Ben really is.
That could honestly be Ben's last fight ever. We don't know.
He looked really bad.
And he
looked really, really bad.
One of my buddies, shout out to JR, he texted me and he's like, honestly, they should have taken Ben out on a stretcher. It's a bad look for the UFC. Yes, it really would be a bad look. But for that man's safety, we don't know. I kind of agree with him. We don't know. I mean, that could be a career-ending injury.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I saw how disoriented. I mean, everybody's disoriented after they're knocked out.
Right.
But Ben looked worse than anyone that I'd ever really seen.
And I mean, like, they were helping him get out of there.
He couldn't even stand next to Jorge to get the hand
at all. Yeah, but I mean, like, even when they took him out of the cage, like, they're like almost walking him.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't know. I didn't get to see. Hopefully, they had at least a wheelchair waiting for him, and they could have rolled him out. I don't know if they did or not.
Yeah.
But maybe going forward, UFC, they need to kind of think of this through, have something ready on standby for something like this. Maybe even, listen, I'm not here trying to change things, but maybe instead of the steps, have like a little ramp, and then they can take the wheelchair up there and sit somebody in it. Or, like I said, the stretcher. I think there needs to be a little bit better protocols for that.
Right. Yeah. Totally understand. That's all thoughtful on Ben's part and future fighters if that ever happens to them again. But let's say this, that it does fit the narrative. I mean, Jorge's character is consistent throughout. He's a street fighter. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of, I don't want to necessarily call him a thug, but he kind of has that persona, and he went in there to beat Ben up, and that's what he
Bad.
did.
Yeah,
and
knocked
then he
him
got
out.
in his face afterwards and still threw in some punches after he clearly knocked him out.
Yeah, Ben
And
was
so
asleep. Yeah.
I think it fits the narrative. I bet Jorge feels incredible tonight. I mean, he
Yeah.
is probably
Oh, yeah.
on top of the world, and I'm anxious to see how Ben responds. I do hope that I hope it's not the end of his career.
Listen, can I tell you, for y'all that don't know, Ben does a whole lot of like boom roasted jokes. I guarantee like the next person that gets knocked out that he doesn't like or something, he's gonna be like, "You got knocked out worse than me." Boom roasted. It'll be
Right.
like
Yeah.
I see
He's gonna be
Ben
able to
just
play off of
joking
it.
like silliness with it.
Yeah.
And another thing, like I don't even want to give this guy any airtime, but Colby Covington, what a dick.
Oh,
What a fucking dick. You
What
know?
did he tweet?
Like-
He said, I told you.
I
I told you.
Yeah, it's something
Like,
stupid
what did
like
he
that. Like,
tell you?
dude,
Yeah.
Colby, I hope you get knocked out by Robbie
Does
Lawler.
he have any
like,
fans? Does anybody like him at all?
I don't maybe,
think they do.
Maybe his family. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I
What
don't
a
know.
loser, man. Yeah, that was just unnecessary.
Yeah,
But
I mean, you never cheer for someone in defeat like that. Like,
especially as another fighter, it's not even
Exactly.
his place. Like
It's
Jorge,
not your-
Jorge probably doesn't even appreciate that. You know?
yeah,
I mean,
Jorge doesn't like you either. Like, Jorge will knock you out too. Like, it don't matter.
yeah. We'll see what happens. But hey, a great win from Masvidal. I mean, he made a
Great
plan.
win. Yeah, not
He
to
came
take
out
away
and he
from,
won.
not to take anything away from Masvidal with all the stuff that happened and anything that I said.
And he
Jorge,
proved
amazing.
himself. I
Amazing.
think it was a great
Amazing.
fight, and it is the shortest,
Oh God.
quickest
Yeah.
KO in UFC history.
Right, 5 seconds.
I
don't
saw
know-
some
well,
people tweeting 4 seconds.
Right. I was going to say, we don't know the official time.
but they were calling it 5, but it
right,
might
they
have
were
been
calling
4.
it 5. We don't actually know yet. 'Cause like I said, we literally just came from Buffalo Wild Wings, so like nothing really official has came out. We didn't get on Twitter, nothing. We just came straight home, turned the mics on, was like, let's do the thing, So
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, in our next fight, Amanda Nunes and Holly Holm.
listen,
Wow.
let me tell y'all, what did I say last podcast? If y'all were what, tell them what I said about Amanda Nunes about the GOAT discussion. What did I say?
Yeah, I mean, she's clearly the greatest female fighter of all
Nope.
time.
No,
Maybe
go
great.
on.
You said greatest UFC fighter of all time,
If
right?
she knocked Holly Holm out. And what did she do?
She knocked her out.
And
yeah.
then what is Holly's specialty? Boxing and what? Kickboxing.
Kickboxing, right.
And what did Amanda do to Holly with her specialist?
Kicked her. Yeah.
Right in the head.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what?
What was it? With to the right side of the face, right?
Yeah,
With the
I
right,
mean, and oh, man, that
her
sound,
left side. Yeah.
that sound was so beautiful. I mean, like,
Oh man, kind of hard to listen to though.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Amanda is for sure the GOAT for women's. It's not even a question. Sorry. I heard Rogan say he wants to see her run it back with Cyborg.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not.
kind of agree with that.
No,
Though.
why?
Why not? Why not?
What did Cyborg do in that fight to prove that she should have a rematch? They stood and just straight banged with each other. And that's what Cyborg likes to do. And she lost at it. That wasn't fluky at all, in my opinion. If it's a fluky
Well, who
loss,
else does she go against though?
So my opinion on this is you probably have the second greatest women's fighter. That one's up for debate. I don't know yet. I don't know on that one. Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah.
Amanda probably can't cut down to 125. I understand that.
Yeah.
So Valentina, I think she needs to move
She
up
would have to
to
go up and wait, and that would be the next best opponent for her.
135. Yeah, I think that should be the fight.
Yeah.
I think that should be the fight. Valentina could be champ if she wins. If she doesn't, Amanda just knocked off another champ in her prime.
Yeah.
So I think that's the fight to make, not Cyborg.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to see. I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I know that weight management is a little bit harder for the women than it is for the men, but
I would say Valentina, though, it's not like Valentina walks around at 125. So it'll be easier for her.
So it might
I mean,
be easier.
you know what I mean?
It's
Like,
easier to go up than to go down. Typically,
right.
yeah.
She probably walks around 145, 140 minimum.
Right. So it would be an easier cut. For
Yeah,
her,
I mean, it's just right there.
Yeah, that
but I
makes
mean,
sense.
I will say Amanda is bricks. I mean, she got bricks as shoulders.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, she
shoulders.
is wow.
Her shoulders are like mine.
Amanda, listen, it's hard not to consider her the GOAT. Men or women, especially. I'll use that as a perfect transition. Watching this last fight.
Yeah, this
with
last fight was pretty
your
disappointing.
GOAT, and Mark's GOAT, I know you'll be watching this since I'm calling you out. I'll be sure to tell you that, listen, that couldn't be my GOAT. No, thank you.
I have an argument here.
No.
The fight that Shay's referring to is the main card, main event, John Jones versus Thiago Santos for the light heavyweight championship.
Yep.
At the end, there was not a unanimous decision. It was
Right.
actually broken between the judges. One judge voted Santos as the winner. The other judges voted Jones as the winner.
Right.
I honestly do think that Santos could have been the winner of that fight. I kind of wanted him to be, even though I do like John Jones.
Yep.
But your argument is that this fight proves that he is not the greatest of all time.
No.
Because Santos injured his left knee pretty badly.
Pretty
and
badly.
It was, he might have even had an ACL tear based on what Joe Rogan was saying. And it was clear that he was injured in the fight. But he kept throwing, and he still had some very great rounds. He arguably won the entire fight, but they gave it to the champion. But I will say that Jones likes to beat people at what they're best at, and so he stayed standing with him. I do think that Jones held back, maybe on purpose.
Stop. No.
And you think
Stop it.
You think that he should have been able to finish him easily
Listen.
if he was the greatest of all time,
okay,
right?
so like I said, once again, we don't know what Santos is going through. For all we know, it's his ACL, it's his MCL, it's his PCL.
We
don't know.
His knee is hurt.
His knee,
Yeah.
listen, every
You could
time he
tell.
even threw a kick, my man would buckle. And then they even showed on the replay his knee going in and out of place. And he did this in the first round?
Yeah.
Listen, I was drinking a little bit. I could be wrong. It could be the second round.
Might have been the first or second round, but yeah.
But so at bare minimum, or max, there's 3 rounds that Jones had to exploit this, and he didn't. Are you kidding me? What a joke! Listen,
Jones still had a lot of trouble landing strikes.
Anything.
He barely landed any of his kicks, except he didn't land any head kicks that I could remember. Maybe a couple here or there. He just controlled the fight by keeping a distance and throwing kicks at Thiago's thigh and landing some strikes here and there. But for the most part, I mean, I would like to see the statistics. We'll have to look those up. Maybe
Right.
I'll throw them up here in a minute of the striking statistics.
so I feel that I'm pretty solid at judging fights. Like if I'm a judge, I feel like I do a pretty good job.
Well, let's
And
keep that for the record. Shay's a great UFC fight
And
judge.
I feel like I'm actually unbiased. So here's
And he's unbiased.
here's what I say. Santos won rounds 1, 2, and 5. That gives
He
him
definitely won round 5.
Yeah, but
I could
listen,
see 1 or 2 going either way.
Okay,
but
but-
I would. Maybe I'm biased because I like to see underdogs
right.
come through victoriously. Yeah, I could see.
But with Santos winning rounds 1, 2, and 5, if this is a regular fight, non-championship, just a 5-round fight on a fight night card, Santos wins. But when you're going against the champion, you have to beat the champion. And he did not beat the champion. It was not clear cut. So with that being said, I'm completely okay with John Jones winning. I think so if I'm scoring it as John Jones is the champion, Santos as the challenger, obviously, John Jones probably wins every round but 5. Or you could make a case that he wins 3 and loses 2.
Yeah, the other deciding factor could be that John looked like, even if he wasn't, looked like he was controlling the fight the whole time.
He advanced more.
He was backing up Santos the whole time.
Yeah.
And even though Santos was getting good enough strikes in to maybe match John Jones's strikes, John was still controlling the pace of the fight, backing him up.
And let me just stop you there too. Santos came out with a great game plan. I didn't expect those leg kicks.
I don't think John definitely didn't expect him to fight as well as he did.
And let me switch the pace on y'all GOAT talkers. Let me tell you, if Francis lands that one leg kick that he did against Junior against John,
oh, yeah.
John's on the ground.
Well, Santos nearly knocked Jones down and could have had the KO if he would have advanced forward after.
And
in
he
the
was
first
scared,
round.
playing defense.
Yeah.
Like I told you last week,
Yeah,
you
dude.
cannot play defensive against
Right.
John Jones. You will not win. Santos put up a great fight. Probably I don't want to get crazy here. That was probably the best fight against John Jones I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, based on all the ones that I've seen, yeah, I think so. I think
Even
this is the
against
best one.
DC, who's my favorite.
Yeah.
I think that was the best one against John Jones. I think that John Jones had a very poor outing against the OSP. And that was right after John Jones came back after his suspension. He looked absolutely terrible against OSP. But this fight, I feel like Jones necessarily didn't look bad. I think that Santos surprised him with a lot of stuff, and then Jones didn't know what to do. Like Brenton said, that he thinks John Jones could have taken him down and won it, and he didn't want to do it because he wanted to beat him standing up. I completely disagree. I was saying that Santos is too good up close. Jones had, it was like what, a 9-inch reach, so he didn't want to get
Might have
in.
been 10-inch actually.
Yeah, because we were joking, we're like, that's almost a foot reach on him. So I don't think he wanted to get close to him and get in striking distance for Santos. Like, I don't think he wanted
Santos
to push
thrives
that
as a brawler.
as a brawler, right?
Right.
He wants those sprawls. He wants to throw
It
those
could be true that
haymakers
John was afraid to shoot on him.
to shoot, right? Exactly, and that's what I think. I don't think John was thinking like, oh, let's try to beat him and stand up. No, I don't think that.
Yeah. Yeah, either way, the decision ended up going to John Jones, and Thiago Santos took a tough loss, but wow, was he impressive.
You know what? Out of everyone on the card, that's who I was most impressed with.
Yeah.
With Santos. Even in the loss.
It was not nearly as lopsided as the odds would have made you think.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think I said going into the fight, that was going to be a TKO, second round, third round at the latest for John Jones. Even though he lost, man, congrats to Santos. That was an amazing fight that he put on.
Great
I
fight to
loved it.
Santos. And the other thing is, too, even though I'm a Jones fan, Jones could not finish an injured Santos, who was clearly
his whole
injured.
knee probably needs
he
a
was
replacement.
struggling moving. He buckled multiple times, especially in the
he
later
buckled.
rounds.
Later rounds, especially.
And
And in
then
the
he
fifth round, he was
won the
buckling.
fifth round.
Exactly. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you brought that up. I'm so glad. Yeah.
It is. John Jones is just a man.
Right.
He might
I
be
mean,
the best, but Thiago, what a beast. I think that this light heavyweight division is going to get a lot more interesting.
I think that you have to rematch those two if John wants to keep fighting at light heavyweight for whatever reason. If you don't, I guess your boy Jan gets the title fight. I
Jan.
guess Jan, whatever you want to call him, he gets the title
I
fight,
don't know.
right?
That's tough though, because I think Jan's last fight, if it wasn't his last fight, he lost
just
to
lost to
Thiago.
Santos.
He
Right.
lost to Santos. So
Right. So
maybe,
I don't know what you
maybe
do.
they run that back.
But Santos is hurt though, so
yeah.
we're assuming.
So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what the severity of the injury is, and stuff like that. But
Right.
great card, UFC 239. I encourage you guys, if you didn't get to watch it live, go watch it on ESPN Plus. Obviously, we're not sponsored by UFC, so if you don't watch it, whatever. But we loved it, and
Yeah,
we had a
for
great
sure.
time. We love the posters, love the keychains.
Thank you,
Shout
Robin.
out to Buffalo Wild Wings
And Buffalo Wild Wings. Thank you so much for asking for
Modelo.
every time.
And
Can I say one more thing?
yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if y'all noticed when I got up. Shout out to my girl Devin. She made the beautiful shirt.
Yeah,
I
can
mean,
you go
wow.
and just show the camera that
Yeah.
shirt? She was able to take our logo that I designed and put it on a t-shirt. Make sure it's in focus. And Shay is repping it tonight. So hopefully eventually we'll get more of those made and maybe distribute them out to you guys if you're interested. But I'm excited about it.